Hey, mommies, it's me, Chelsea, with my Mommy Wisdom, and we are here for another episode of Wisdom Wednesdays. Today, we're going to be talking about the purpose and role of a doula and why it's important to have one. Let's get into what the meaning of doula really even means. A doula is, by definition, a woman typically without formal obstetric. It's the braces y'all know, OB training, who is employed to provide guidance and support to a pregnant woman during labor. So let's get into it. I actually thought a few years ago that a doula and a midwife were the same thing. I thought that doula was just a fancy word for midwife, but then I realized they're totally different. So a doula and a midwife offer different types of services, even though both may support the childbirthing experience. Midwives have medical training and during the birthing process focus on delivering a healthy baby. A doula, on the other hand, focuses on the needs of the mother, offering mental, physical, and emotional support. Can I get a show of hands on how many people who probably really needed a doula when they were delivering? The delivery process is so different from everybody, but I will say no matter what, all women can truly say that they needed that additional support or guidance in the delivery room, and it definitely would have been helpful. I didn't have a doula. It was actually when I had my first child, my son, my delivery room was pretty full. I had my husband, spiritual mom and dad, and a family friend. I had 4 people in the room with me. And then when I had my daughter, Callie, I just had my mother-in-law. And so I will say that when you're going through all of that pain and stuff, having someone there to offer that additional support, both emotionally, physically, mentally, would be so helpful. So I have my good friend, my sis, my good Judy Aaron here, who is a doula, and she's going to share a little bit more about what being a doula entails and how it's important to consider if you're a pregnant woman.
Hey there, my name is Erin Montecure. I am a mom of a rambunctious 3, almost 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old who is almost 3. And I'm so excited to talk a little bit today about the role that doulas play for Black families and the maternal health of Black moms and babies. I work in education full time, but am currently working on my certification to be a maternal fertility and postpartum doula. I'm so excited about this work because it's just always been a passion of mine. I really, really, really dove in deep when it came to both of my pregnancies and really being intentional about the type of parent I wanted to be, the type of environment I wanted to welcome my kids in, the type of things that I wanted to provide, and just was consistently knee deep in researching, knowing, and understanding the facts, understanding the risk, and understanding how what I wanted mirrored or matched reality in the science. And so that was something that was really, really important for me, and I think played a role in me having, for the most part, 2 really positive birthing experiences, 2 really positive pregnancies. And while we're in the toddler stage right now and things can get really challenging, I think that just being armed with the knowledge is so, so important. And I want to start by talking about what is a doula. In Greek, the word doula means female slave. And it's so interesting because we all don't think of a doula like that. And so now with that language, people are finding it challenging to continue to use the word. So they're replacing it with things like birth worker. So what is a doula? How does it differ from a healthcare provider or a midwife? So a doula provides support, and they provide support in primarily 3 ways: emotional support, physical support, and then education or information, providing information to their clients. They do not replace a midwife. They do not replace a healthcare provider. Your doula is not going to deliver your baby. Your doula is not going to give you any type of medicine or administer any type of medication. Your doula is not going to give you medical advice. That is not the role of a doula whatsoever. Our role is to make sure that you are educated and empowered to have the pregnancy, the birth experience, and the transition home that you hope to have, based on being armed and you making those decisions from the knowledge and the wisdom and the science, all the different things that you have coupled together to decide, hey, this is the experience that I want to have. I really decided to embark on my certification to support Black families specifically, because I've just seen so much around me how Black moms, we are ignored when we say we have pain. Some things are automatically assumed that, hey, oh, she probably has no understanding, or she's not going to advocate for herself. And oftentimes we're seen as folks who should just take what we get. And I just see how that can go so wrong, or has gone wrong, in instances of those who are very close to me. And some folks very close to me have lost their lives because they weren't heard or because they were ignored. And so one thing that I have found, that if you can go in there and throughout this experience, particularly in your hospital, with the knowledge to ask questions, to not just accept every single thing that your healthcare provider says, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to administer this, we're going to do this now. I think it's just really important so that you can take charge and you can have the experience that you want, and folks will listen to you. If you're saying and you're adamant about a certain pain or about a certain process, that you can really speak intellectually from the scientific perspective of what is happening in order to ensure that it's adequately paid attention to or checked out. And so I think that is one of the main reasons why I am embarking on this journey. I think we often see, and I'm continuing to learn as I'm going through this certification process, that like once an intervention happens, more interventions are to come. And so we consider an intervention as like, hey, you're going in, you're in labor, you're maybe about 4 or 5 centimeters dilated, and your healthcare provider says, hey, I'm going to break your water. So hopefully that will speed things up. And sometimes, and maybe at that early in the stage, you might think, is that actually necessary right now? Because some of the risk when your water is broken could be a little detrimental to you or your birthing experience and your baby. And so being able to ask those questions, or just knowing that like, hey, if I let the doctor break my water right now, these are some things that could happen. And just being able to know that, so that you can say, hey, yep, go ahead and break my water. I really appreciate it. Or actually, I'd rather walk or sit on a birthing ball. Or can you place a peanut ball in between my legs? Just being armed with like that small piece of knowledge during your labor experience to make sure that you have the experience that you want to have. I think we are seeing that having that advocacy, particularly for Black moms, is minimizing the interventions and the rates of cesareans, which is most definitely taking some of the risk out of the situation, some of the recovery options that come with cesareans, or all of that pain and the additional layers that it adds to just bringing home a new little one. Some of those things are being diminished by having somebody in the room who can help you advocate for yourself. Your doula will never speak for you, but they will empower you to speak on your behalf. And I think that that is something that Black moms definitely need as they are going through the process. So there are 3 types of doulas, and I think that most people are the most familiar with a labor doula, somebody who is there with you as you are laboring and giving birth. And we see all of those beautiful pictures of doulas really supporting the mother in repositioning her, helping her stretch, helping her breathe, helping her relax. as she's going through the process of delivering her beautiful little one. But there are also fertility doulas. There are doulas who support families who go through loss, and there are postpartum doulas who help families transition into what we call the fourth trimester, which is getting home, right? Adjusting as a family, adjusting to sleepless nights, adjusting to overnight feedings, helping a new sibling get adjusted to having this new baby welcomed home. And so doulas, again, are just there to really provide the educational support to just make sure you are set up for success throughout this journey into parenthood. So I know we're in this really crazy time of COVID-19, and a lot of moms right now who are pregnant might have some concerns about having to birth alone or not being able to have a doula present, and just their partner present, etc. And I can just tell you now, in the doula community within itself, people are armed and ready and prepared to support virtually, whether that's FaceTime, Zoom, Skype, also coaching your partner, since they might be the only person who is able to be there. And I'm also happy to provide that support in some capacity as well, helping you create a birth plan. I think there are a lot of stipulations when you think of the word plan, that everything has to go according to plan. But I think as a doula, it's more of a perspective of, what are the things that you want? What are we going to be prepared to do mentally if we can't get what we want, or it's not the safest option? What we want is not the safest option, and helping you plan on the front end so that you feel really empowered going into this birthing experience. And then also I can provide a lot of resources to help you prepare for when you get home as well, mapping out that plan, connecting you with lots of videos, lots of literature to read, and even connecting via email, phone, Zoom, to chat through some things that you might be thinking, questions that you might have, and providing that education and support. So I definitely believe that doulas are saving Black mothers' lives. I definitely believe that doulas are saving Black babies' lives. I definitely believe that doulas are standing in and making sure that families can advocate for themselves and their health and what they need. And I am just so happy to be in the number, so happy to be a Black doula, a Black mom, and really supporting Black moms in this process, sharing awareness and providing the education that we need to have empowered and educated birthing experiences.
Thank you, Erin. A doula doesn't just have to be there at the delivery. They also can be an additional advocate for the mom throughout her entire birthing process. Because so many African American women are kind of going through this pandemic, really, of not having the proper support, not being advocated enough for, and we're losing a lot of our women in delivery more than any other race. And so I think that it's truly special or important that we start to implement doulas in our birthing process and our birthing experience, and just educating ourselves on the importance of having one. Regardless of who's in your delivery room, whether it's your spouse, your mom, your friend, the doula's main role is to cater to the mom. So whatever comfort level she may need, the doula will make sure that she implements that, whether it's more ice, more water, more wiping the sweat off your brow, telling you you're doing a good job. All those things, even though it sounds small, are truly important in the process, because I would say having that extra additional layer of support only helps the mom when she recovers to feel proud and to feel confident about what she's done and to feel empowered and really supported. So now that you understand the support related to hiring a doula for both your postpartum care, your delivery care, your birthing experience, let us know in the comment section if you are interested in having a doula. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your experience. Have you given birth with a doula? What was your experience like? Are you considering it? Let us know. Thanks, mommies. Talk with you guys soon. Bye.